The Garden, the eighth in a series of songs and explanation by Dave Moorman. When Dave and his family settled in Fleming and Marino, he got a MIDI, musical instrument digital interface, keyboard. He needed a MIDI interface to connect the synthesizer keyboards to his computer. Unfortunately, the interface software included with the device was a sequencer rather than a music processor. A sequencer is a program that reads a list of pitches and durations and sends the information to the MIDI instrument. Dave wanted a music processor, on the order of what he had used before. That meant he would have to write his own program. This would require a lot of machine language code, in order to play multiple notes at the same time. He wrote out the code on paper, but it was simply too long and complex to hand convert into what the computer understood. Now he needed another program, an assembler, which fortunately became available in a paper magazine. Hundreds of lines of 16 characters each had to be blindly, but exactly, punched into the machine. The assembler worked as promised, and Dave transcribed his handwritten code. The user interface, where he would ultimately write music, was based on Master Composer, but now used letters to identify MIDI channels to be played. Using his little keyboard and the Korg synthesizer, Dave now could create music with real sonic depth and complexity. And yet, the data structure of the program was inefficient. The C64 has very limited memory, and Dave's music processor used a majority of that memory to hold empty information. He was stumped for a time. The music data needed to be in a continuous stream, yet editing would require breaking into that stream to change individual notes. He hit upon an idea of packetizing sections of music, which could be moved easily around in computer memory. The interface was excellent. The musician could scroll back and forth through the score at will. And now, this new program could play up to 16 MIDI notes plus the 3 internal SID voices. Then disaster struck. At some random point, music began disappearing. Finding the problem took a full month, and turned out to be the absence of exactly one tiny, machine language instruction. Dave fixed it, then rebuilt everything he had messed up while finding the bug. He called his creation Presto, which stood for Professional Resolution Electro-Symphonic Techno Orchestra. The score could handle 30-second notes, triplets, repeats, and even DS, DC, and coda. It was the music processor Dave had always wanted. Thanks for listening. Be sure to click like and subscribe to hear more of Dave's life in music.